Hey, I'm Evan.
I'm Mike.
Welcome to USSC Stories.
The broken and falling, damned old souls been sent to burn. Nowadays they've been calling, telling me soon gonna be my turn. Head down.
All right, welcome back again. Welcome back, Spence. So we kind of talked about this previous video about the racial divide on submarines. Now, we've had a shipmate that said he experienced a whole lot of racism, whatever like that on the ship. And we kind of talked about our experience. So I kind of want to ask you, during your time in, did you ever experience or have any type of interaction or situations to where you felt that there was some type of racial bias on submarines?
I did have one incident. There was a time when I just got my fish, and when you get your fish, you get the honor of picking the first movie to be watched. On a Trident submarine, there's two places you can watch movies. There's the cruise lounge, where all the forward people, which we call coners, they get to watch movies there. That's because they're usually off watch first. They get the cruise lounge. The nukes tend to get off later, so they get the cruise mess. Because my board ended up getting out late, I got the cruise mess because the cruise lounge was already full, and they was already watching the movie. So, and the way it worked was you take your movie, you check out your movie from the IC men or the Navy T's, and it was a VCR, so you put your cassette tape on top of the VCR stating this is the movie that was picked, and that was it. Normally everybody would call ahead and say, hey, what are we going to watch? But because I was qualified, I got to choose, so there was no question of what the movie was going to be watched. So I put that movie on top of the VCR, and I assisted the cranks to clean up the cruise mess so I can start watching the movie faster. Of course, the faster you got done with the movie, the quicker you got to the rack. So I'm cleaning up, I'm helping them wash the decks and everything like that. And now the nukes are done doing the after watch cleanup and started coming forward to come watch a movie. And one of the nukes seen the movie that I had picked, and they didn't know what it was. It happened to be Boys in the Hood. So the guy picks it up. He said, oh, is this one of those black movies? And I was like, excuse me? He's like, I don't know what this is. Is this one of those black movies? So I was like, I don't understand your question. So I immediately got pissed. And I'm the type of person, if I get pissed, I don't say nothing to nobody. I'm analyzing, I'm evaluating, reevaluating what's going on before I react. So I said, yeah, it is one of those black movies. He's like, oh, we don't want to watch that. So I don't give a fuck what you want to watch. And you know what? I stopped right there because I started getting too angry. So I took the movie, I gave it back, I turned it back in, I just went to the rack. For like the next week or so, I just stopped. I didn't talk to nobody. I did my job, came on watch, got off watch, went to work, and that was it. So again, like I said, if I'm pissed, I don't say nothing. I just keep to myself. So of all people, the XO noticed that that something was different. Something was wrong. Something was not right. So he literally pulled me to the side. He's like, Seaman Wright, what's wrong? And I was also part of the command assessment team, which is the team the purpose of that team is to speak about issues of the division between any type of ethnic backgrounds, race, color, creed, or anything like that. So we could hash it out and we can handle it before it happened. So I literally, at that point, I was like, I don't care. Hey, he asked me the question, I'm going to tell him. You know, of course, I did it respectfully. And right. I think within 2 days, we had a GMT. We had a GMT, and we spoke about issues on the boat. And that was it. I washed it under the rug, and I didn't I didn't let it affect me no more after that, you know. And that was the first time I seen it, I felt it, and I knew it was around. Other than that, throughout my career, I never had that issue ever again, you know. And if I ever seen somebody that was headed in that direction, then I would pull them to the side and straighten them out. We don't need that here, you know.
Right.
That was the most upfront, in my face, race related issue that I ever had on the submarine.
Yeah, I mean, I know we make jokes. You know, we joke about stereotypes. You know, we joke about certain things, but as far as like blatant, you know, racism like that, whatever, like I just haven't seen it. You know, sorry you had to go through something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sorry at all that it happened. I in fact, I'm glad it happened because, you know, to me, I don't want the blanket pulled over my face type of thing. So, again, that wasn't, you know, the hardest. He could have said the N-word. He could have done a lot of other things, and that would have led to a different outcome. You know, again, to me, I felt that was racist because the way he was said it. He could have simply just said, "What type of movie is that?" Or what movie is that? I never seen it before. You know?
True.
Again, I spoke about it. I got it off my chest, and you know, we handled it. Never had a problem again. And that, after, like I said, after that point, I'd never directly seen any type of instance. Not like that. So I got another story. You know, I got plenty of stories, and that's why y'all talking to me. We was doing a combined crew refit, and there was a Dominican guy that was on the other crew, a storekeeper. He was Dominican. And he literally asked me, he's like, "Why do you always hang out with black dudes?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Well, all I see you is with black dudes." I said, "Oh, excuse me, I don't really see it like that. I see me hanging out with whoever I'm hanging out with, whoever I'm cool with." Because I always felt myself to be well-rounded. You know, I can hang out with whatever. I can go from forward to aft, top to bottom, and have a conversation with whoever.
Right.
I just naturally gravitated towards some certain people because we had a lot of things in common. Yeah. And that's what I told him. I said, well, if you see me with a certain group of people, it's because we naturally gravitate towards each other. It's not that that's all I hang out with. And he could not understand that. I was like, how can you not understand that? There's got to be somebody on here that speaks the same language as you that you naturally know. And he felt like I was being racist. And I was like, I don't understand what you're talking about. I'm not being racist because you can walk down this passageway and 10 out of 10 people will say what's up to me and we'll have a small conversation. I will not skip somebody just to say what's up to someone else.
Right.
But for him, he couldn't understand that. So I thought that was crazy.
Like we said, Submarine is definitely a big melting pot of people, different cultures, different races, different countries, to be honest. Like you said, there's Dominican dudes. You know, we on my boat, we had a couple of UK guys on there. Obviously they're white dudes, but you know, they're from the UK, and so, you know, it's different cultures and shit like that. You know, according to their country and stuff like that, they might not be on par with the same sort of cultural liberties that we're on, you know, or acceptances that we're on, you know what I'm saying? Which doesn't make it right, but you know, that's just the way they are.
Yeah. And the one thing I do miss about like on submarines though is that cultural mix of people. You don't get that nowadays, you know. Even with people that you got kicking with nowadays, man, you don't get that one person from this side of the country, this person's on this side of the country, this person's from across the world, across the waters, or whatever like that. They all come together as one and doing a job, doing a mission. I think that's one of probably the coolest aspects of being in the Navy, especially on submarines, man, because on submarines you have no choice but to get to know the next person. Even if they don't like you for whatever reason, you're forced to get to know each other. Then you realize how much shit you actually have in common with each other.
Bro, it's you hit it on the fucking head, like, I hate to bring it up, but a lot of things nowadays, it just, a lot of people just don't understand other people just because, and they hate people just because, but on the submarine, cultures are just brought together by force, and you are brought together by force, and you just learn to, work together, and lo and behold, we're not so fucking different,
I give you a perfect example. I've been on 4 submarines, and yeah, like I said, on my first one, I had that incident, but there's more separation because you're a nuke or you're a coner, or because you're a storekeeper and you're an egg hanger. There's always going to be something different. But in the submarine world, what makes us one is the fish. First off, we all earn those fish. They're not given, for the most part. They're not given to nobody. So we all learn every aspect of the submarine.
Yeah.
But the most together submarine that I was on, and this goes against none of the other boats, but was the Tucson. The Tucson, I've never seen this before. We had nukes and coners that lived together. We had nukes, coners, officers that hung out together and drank together, partied together, went to events together, and there was no, oh, I can't hang out with him because he works in the engine room. Oh, I can't hang out with him because he's a storekeeper. Or it was none of that.
Yeah.
That was the only boat that I been on and heard about that was it was one screw, literally one screw, one crew. And I thought that was amazing. That was so much fun. And that's what, to me, made that boat one of the funnest boats I was ever on, because I can call up one of my party buddies was a nuke, and that was it. It was like, yo, hey, what's up? What you doing? Hey, I'll meet you out there. That was it. We all hung out downtown, Waikiki or wherever we was, and that was it. There was no, man, I'm going out with Bozzy Blah. You won't understand because we do Dungeons and Dragons. We all do it. You know what I mean? So they invited you in. If you wasn't in their circle, they invited you in. If they thought you was cool, Now, not everybody's cool. Not everybody's fun. Right. Everybody has their own avenue that they want to be on. But on the Tucson, the most blended crew.
I can attest to that.
Yeah, it just kind of shows you how petty some of the shit nowadays is. If you could just, if people who weren't on submarines that, if they could just see the things that we could see, they'd probably just laugh at half of the shit that they're arguing about, like.
You know what's funny? The NBA bubble. They was in a bubble for, 2-3 months?
Yeah.
And it was hard for them. It was struggling. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand it was all of a sudden. But we did that on a regular. And it was no bubble. It was a tube. Where we recycling air. I'm smelling and breathing your farts. I laughed every time I watched the NBA game, like, oh, they're in a bubble. No, they're not really. They get to see the sun come up and settle every day.
They got a pool, hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to take a timed shower to turn it off and turn it on.
Yeah. So that's what, like, I try to stress to a lot of people about the submarine lifestyle. It's something that, man, either you can do it or you can't do it, man. Like, it'll make or break you.
I used to. I love when the hatch first. Let me ask you all. So, when you guys were about to pull in, and you was headed home, and you surfaced that last time, how did it feel when the smell of seawater from them opening up that bridge hatch. How did that feel to you?
Dude, the gust of fresh air that just like when they open the hatch and just fucking floods your system, the gust of fresh air that just, and you're just like, yes, this is the last time I'm about to be on shore, about to see my friends, my family, whatever the fuck, my woman. And you're just like, yes, this is the best. Dude, it's almost like the smell of freedom, bro.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could describe it as. Is just you're like, yes, I'm finally back to freedom. You're smelling it for almost it's like the first and the last time, but you smell it over and over and again according to your deployments. And you're just like, it's a smell and a memory that you really can't describe to other people that haven't been through it.
Yeah, I think the best one too was your last pulling in the port when you transfer from the ship, because this is my last time going out to sea for a while, and that feeling is like, damn, I got to do this again, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one of the like you said, it's one of those feelings that only those that have experienced it will realize what we're talking about. But if I was to make it sound, try to describe it to somebody, I can't even get the word out. I would say it's like being stuck in a car on a trip and you finally pull over to go to the bathroom. That feeling of being able to stand up, walk to the bathroom, and do what you got to do before getting back in the car is just a stretch of just such a great feeling. And that gush of salt water air comes through, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
You just know that you're really about to pull in, and that's when you start counting down stuff. So
yeah, man,
that is just amazing to me.
One of the best memories I've had, I've told you guys this before, is when I was on SSBN, so we would always out on the West Coast, so we'd always pull into Hawaii. One of the best memories I had was we were pulling into Hawaii. It was probably like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, something like that on West Coast, Hawaii time, whatever. And I was the first and only one up. I was the lookout / gunner. And even the officer deck wasn't up yet, and we were pulled up and the sun was starting to rise in the sky, just in the horizon kind of thing. And it sounds fucking foolish and people, maybe it sounds a little gay, whatever. But dude, like I'm telling you, like experiencing moments like that, bro, like you're in a nuclear submarine, the waves are fucking lapping over the submarine, the sun is coming up, you're completely alone, right? There's no one around you, and it's just basically you're watching God come over the fucking horizon, and it's just the most incredible feeling, bro. And it's one of those things that that no one else, like a lot of people, not no one else, but a lot of people will never experience, because they're just stuck in their daily lives and stuff like that. And it just makes you really grateful for what you've done.
Yeah. I think one of my great feelings was like coming off of Westpac, when you pull in close to the pier and officer deck has the periscope going, and you're seeing all the people lined up on the pier, and you're seeing the decorations, all the signs they have out there, bands playing, and then that feeling's like, damn, like I'm about to just, even though you didn't have your family out there, the other families that you were kicking with that came up with gifts or came up with stuff for you, so interacting with those people again and being finally home to celebrate being back through everything that you went through, man, that was one of the coolest moments ever. For the first time I've had that happen.
They do it different in Hawaii. So Evans, what they do in Hawaii is, as a submarine's coming in, so they put a lei around the bridge first off to say that you're coming back off a deployment. So that's how they welcome you. But as you're pulling in, every ship that's in, every sub that's in, they sound their whistle as you pass.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing. That's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
But in Washington, since I got a taste of both, in Washington, the feeling of when you're getting home is when you go through the bridge. I cannot remember the name of the bridge, but you know the bridge that lifts up and folds onto itself. But that's where all the wives used to be. So you used to see them as you left, but then you see them when they came back, and you knew you was almost home because you could smell their perfume. That's how strong their perfume was. So it would come onto the boat and hit the recycle system. But one of my I had two. Of course, I got many, but two was the mid-watch. We used on mid-watch lookout, and nobody up, nobody, and it's just you off the deck. You probably talking some stories, and then there's probably a good 20, 30 minutes where there's nobody saying nothing. See, looking at the stars, and like you said, you hearing the water rush up against the submarine. The water outside beyond you is just flat as ice. It's just amazing feeling. You just gives you time to reflect. You know, gives you time to reflect, gives you time to just think, and then you just, if you're not appreciating those moments, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah,
it's
like you're listening
it's just
to
surreal.
God. Yeah, you're listening to God at that point. You know, I don't know. It's hard to describe to people that haven't just experienced that stuff. Like when I was talking about the Hawaii thing with the sun coming up and stuff, and then you were talking
Hawaii plenty of times.
Yeah, you were just talking about you're the one of the only couple people up there at the balls to fucking midnight shift, and there's nothing around you, and all you can hear is the waves and stuff. It makes you feel really small,
Yeah,
and
it does.
It makes you really feel
the
really
other
small.
time I had was I was on the Florida, and we was coming over from the West Coast to the East Coast. In order to come around, we went through the Panama Canal. So, and this was a teaching moment for me, a kid coming from Providence, Rhode Island, out of the ghetto, out of the projects, knew nothing about, only heard about it. So, as we're going through, the captain was nighttime. He's up in there. He's just taking in the scenery, and he points out a cluster of stars. He's like, "That's that star. That's that star." And this is where this is why this guy's a captain. These are one of the reasons why. So he's pointing out all the different stars. That's the belt. That's the this. So he points out the Southern Cross, and he says, "Okay, for the next couple of nights, I want you to watch that, and you're gonna see something." I'm like, "What am I gonna see?" That's a bunch of stars. I'm being smart ass in my own head, but I'm thinking to myself like, whatever. So as we make our way from the west to the east and we go through the Panama Canal, you literally watch the Southern Cross shift from one side over. I was like, wow. I was like, that's crazy. So, and of course he went into the background about it, but I thought that was one of the most amazing things to see. And again, not everybody gets to see that. Not everybody gets to experience that. And because the submarine is not surrounded by anything, no other structures, it's just open. So you get to see everything 360 degrees. Mm-hmm. So that was one of the most surreal moments too for me.
Yeah, man, that's insane. I've never actually been through the Panama Canal myself, but something I've always wanted to go through and wondered about.
Right.
So guys, we're coming up on the time here. Another fucking glorious episode. If you guys watching, you have any questions for myself or Mike or Spencer, just drop in the comments. As always, we really want the subscribes and the comments. We'd love to hear your guys' stories. We've already seen a couple of you guys comment down there and emailed us about wanting to get on board. Well, it'll happen eventually. You just got to be patient with us. We're only a few guys that have to siphon through all these comments. So, we'll get to you. We'll get to you. But as always, Spencer, Mike, it's been an honor. Have a good one.
The devil's gonna come when the sun goes down. The devil's gonna come